Welcome to the Canadian SME Podcast, a podcast for Canadian small businesses. We interview Canadian experts and entrepreneurs to provide expert insight into marketing, innovation, business leadership, technology, and trends that impact small business. Our mission is to empower Canadian small and medium enterprise to help you grow your business.
Dirtmarket.ca was founded by two recent Brock University grads, Emma Kervin and Asa Jalib. It is an online marketplace for beneficial soil reuse. Dirtmarket.ca helps save Ontario construction teams money by cutting out landfill tipping fee and reducing trucking fee. They have also been saving small businesses thousands of dollars throughout the pandemic and are committed to helping the environment by reducing CO2 emissions. We recently got the chance to chat with Emma and Asad. Emma is currently finishing her Bachelor of Arts degree at Brock University and calls London, Ontario home. Emma is passionate about chatting with the dirt market community and learning more about the construction industry every day, while Asad oversees Dirt Market and Dirt Tracks technology and continues to evolve the offerings to meet the demands of their users. In this podcast, they shared the biggest challenge as being young entrepreneurs, how they raised funding for their venture, and shared a few tips and advice for other young entrepreneurs out there. Hi, Emma and Asad. On behalf of Canadian SME, I'd like to welcome you to our Small Business Podcast. How are you both?
I'm well. How are you?
Great. Now, first of all, you guys did an incredible job by launching your venture, Dirt Market, and you two have very interesting backgrounds. Emma, you are currently finishing your Bachelor's of Arts from Brock, as well as taking care of the business. And Asad, you are overseeing Dirt Market and the Dirt Tracks technology, and you're continuing to evolve the offerings to meet the demands of your users. So, share with our audience, how did the idea of your business, Dirt Mark, come about?
Yeah, so this first of all, great to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This all started out a couple of months ago. My father gave me a call. He's a developer in Toronto, and he said that, hey, there's been an issue where I need your help. So I went to one of the sites where he needed me, and turns out somebody had dumped 10 loads of soil onto his property, and it was going to cost him about $90,000 to have it removed. So And the problem was it was perfectly good soil. And I know other people that would utilize that soil. So we thought, okay, there has to be a better way to manage this soil, right? Like it's costing a lot of people that are unfortunately facing illegal dumping. But at the same time, it's costing people that have to buy soil. So we thought about how we could do this. And Emma actually came across some pretty interesting statistics. Emma, do you want to share those?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Ontario, there's about 25 million metric tons of soil excavated every year. And there's only about 120 million metric tons of remaining landfill space. So really quickly, just looking at those numbers, you can see that there's not a lot of space left for excavated soil to go. So there's obviously a problem, and we saw the opportunity to present a solution.
I mean, that's great. So in terms of, you guys are young entrepreneurs, and entrepreneurship is appealing and exciting, but everyone has different motivation to get started. What was your key driving force to become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, well, we saw this gap in the market, and it personally impacted my family. So I thought, okay, well, at least my father would be able to use this because they deal with dirt all the time. So what we're trying to do is connect buyers and sellers of dirt, or people that just need to get rid of it. We're connecting them with people that need soil. And so we thought, this is something that would probably help a lot of people. And at the same time, it's better for the environment, right? Because if you connect the people that need dirt with the people that have dirt and they're close by, a lot of truck pollution created by just trucking soil in and out of the city. So if we can make a connection in the city, we'd help with the CO2 emissions a lot. So we thought, okay, this will help the environment. It's got some beneficial purposes in the sense that, people are going to save money since they don't have to buy or dump soil at high costs. We thought, okay, let's give it a shot. Honestly, we didn't think it was going to grow as fast as it did. So it started off as a side project, but it's turning into something bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say on a more personal level, Asad and I are both definitely lifelong learners. We saw this problem, we didn't know a lot about it. And so we've been putting a lot of time and energy into learning everything we can, building networks, connections, as well as doing our own research into it. So I think our personalities too just work really well in an entrepreneurship environment because we love a challenge, we love to learn, and that's exactly what Dirt Market's been able to let us do and continue to grow in those areas.
That's very impressive. Now, for new and young entrepreneurs, there are, some unique challenges that are especially difficult to overcome. What has been your biggest challenge as young entrepreneur, and like, how have you met that challenge?
I think you hit the nail on the head by just saying just a young entrepreneur, in the sense that we don't have 30 years of experience in anything. So to be networking with people who do have 30, 40 years experience in the field, it can be definitely intimidating. I think that's one of the pieces, but we also use that to our advantage because we understand how valuable it is to be open to learning and to continue to learn. So I would say it can be both a pro and a con to be young, because we do have a more innovative mindset in the sense that we're ready to take on these challenges from a new perspective, but we also have a lot to learn, and we definitely know that and honor that as often as we can.
That's great. Now, Asa, do you have any point to make here?
Yeah, the territory is definitely uncharted. We haven't had an experience like this before, talking to so many users, and we're trying to grow this business. And there's so many various aspects of it. What's been really helpful is we've been able to seek out some support. So we've built out a bit of an advisory board. So shout out Scott Smith if you're listening. Thank you so much for all the support so far. And we've partnered with a entrepreneurship incubator out in Hamilton too. So I think for those young entrepreneurs, one of the things might be, well, you might not have all the answers, but there are a lot of people with a lot of great answers. So one thing we're really fortunate with is we've been able to make those connections to help us and support us and guide us on that path.
Absolutely. Now, many business founders and leaders choose to start a company with a partner, like how you guys did. And having a partner, can come up with a lot of great advantages, but it can also add additional stressors if the co-founders haven't nurtured their relationship. Now, share with our audience on how to share responsibilities, focusing on your co-founders' strengths.
Yeah, so I think we share responsibilities because we have a pretty clear skill set respectively. So Asad's amazing at the technology aspect. So he's built the software from the ground up. And the first iteration looks very, very different from what we have today. He's been able to adapt and pivot and really adapt to the market as we see fit, the more we talk to our members, and he's able to build around the needs of who we talk to, which is really valuable. I, on the other hand, could not do that. I'm definitely more people-driven, reaching out to members, talking to the community, educating ourselves on the sort of industry in general is more my speed. So we've been able to kind of divide and conquer in that sense, and we know our boundaries in regard to what each other kind of thrive at, I guess is a way to say that.
No, now the process of utilizing personal saved up funds or funding from friends and family is known as, bootstrapping or self-funding. How did you guys raise funding for your venture?
So we did exactly what you just said. So we've been bootstrapping for the past little while. Emma and I have been putting up money to keep the business going. And we got really lucky. We participated in a competition called Monster Pitch out in Niagara at Brock University. It's a pitch competition for entrepreneurs to showcase what they've been working on. And we won that, which was fantastic. We got some great funding there. So that's really helped us quite a bit as well. So a mix of, us putting up funds. At the same time, we've gotten some support from winning some of these competitions.
Now, I would personally like to congratulate you on becoming, such great young entrepreneurs. Building your own business is a fun experience, but at the same time, it can get challenging in some areas. Now, on a final note, what are your tips and advice for young entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I mean, on my side, when we first developed the first iteration of technology, and Emma said, it's changed quite a lot since then. And well, we actually just recently launched Dirt Track, which is a much, it's a very simple software, but it had a lot going into it, and that pretty much helps construction teams, excavation teams, and fill sites track their soil as per the requirements of the government. There's some regulations coming in January next year, and so we're helping teams pretty much track their soil that way. One of the biggest things I've learned is that we definitely have to just put what we've created out there and let people respond to it, and not let yourself limit the success that might have. At the start, we were pretty nervous about, okay, we put this out there. What if it's not good enough? People are like, this is awful. Let's, we'll lose their attention forever. we're worried about that. But one thing we've definitely learned is, nope, you got to go ahead, put what you've created out there and let other people speak on it and get that feedback to continue to make it better. Emma, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, I would totally agree with you. And I would say that being able to pivot and change what you're doing as well is really important. Our vision, even from, a couple weeks ago to now, can change based on, again, what we're learning and the different needs of our members and things like that. So if we had just stuck to what we started with, we definitely would not be here. We've definitely had to learn how to adapt and change every single day to get where we are. So it's a little bit unsettling at first to change so frequently. But then once you get used to changing and bettering and refining what you're doing, you get a lot more comfortable with it. And it's a huge asset to be able to do that.
No, I 100% agree. To really succeed, you're going to need to experiment a lot. But great tips, great advice, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this podcast. It was great, absolutely great knowing you both. You guys have started so young and you both have a long way to go, but we're positive about this venture would be, a big, big success.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Waheen.
Thank you for listening to the Canadian SME podcast. Please visit canadiansme.ca to subscribe and join us next week as we share more expert advice from Canadian business leaders.